Ah, shit, I need another video game to do again this week. I can't be late this time. Nope. 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 Maybe. Aha! I mean, I remember not having any trouble playing this game as a kid. How bad could it really be? Well, back to the memories with this. Okay, so Rabbids Go Home is an adventure game developed and published by Ubisoft for and exclusively for the Nintendo Wii. This was back when Ubisoft was really in their Rabbids stage of their success after seeing the overwhelming success of their Raging Rabbids titles. God damn. Honestly, I don't remember how I was introduced to this game as a kid. All I knew is that I wanted it really bad, and that once I got it, I played it extensively. The premise to the story is quite simple, but easy to grasp for children purposes. So, after a long day of doing whatever it is Rabbids do, it's time for some well-deserved rest. And for some reason, I really don't know the answer to it. Rabbids enjoy sleeping on top of lights. Our main characters are looking to find the nearest light to sleep on, but have no prevail. And then there's this big, giant, beautiful light. It's the moon. So the Rabbids, in their intellect of 12, come up with a plan on, we're gonna sleep on this giant moonlight and there's enough room for everybody. Now you might be asking yourself, how'd they do that? Fucking stack shit until they can get up there. At this point, every Rabbid has pretty much come up with the idea as well, and they all just start finding stuff and grabbing stuff to start stacking up a pile. And after all this, you're finally playing. As you start to collect things from around the junkyard, you start to realize what kind of adventure game you're playing here. A overly linear, overly ridiculous collectathon. It's fair to say that loading into this game is great. It's really just you and your team of Rabbids traveling through the sewers to get to the city center, and I find the simplicity behind it just really, really enjoyable, because it's not very long, as the loading times in general are just pretty short in this game, and you will see the progress, and it's not, like, terrible to sit through, so it's just, I think it's great. Once in the city center, you can go around terrorizing the people and collecting all the stuff they have for a little bit of extra stackage later in the game to progress a little faster. And this is all in just a little Ubisoft sandbox, just for a little bit of fun. This is also how you're going to get around to your big item missions, the things that the entire game is built around. So you're going to go around to these different locales that are just kind of based around a general theme, and all the missions within that are going to be tied to that theme in some way, either in title or an actual item you are collecting. These items are very enjoyable to pick up at the first go-around. You go around stealing these things like a giant CEO statue, a man barely hanging on to life, or even a cow on its way to its own slaughter. But it's not quite as simple as it sounds. Well, actually, it kinda is. There is more to the level. You're set on a linear path to go get the object in question, and then you collect a lot of small stuff on the way. Like birds, burgers, clothes, Capri Sun dogs, pizza, root beer, plants, fucking toilet paper. And this is pretty much the whole game. There are a couple of levels that are sprinkled in there that give a little bit of variation, so it's not completely stale, but the game has a tendency to repeat its ideas for levels very often. And I mean very often. The game's true Achilles heel is its level idea of repetitiveness. The developers had some real talent when it came to designing these levels and what their ideas were to make them different, but then they just started copying and pasting them because they ran out of ideas, I feel like, and then it just kind of continued over and over to fill the quota for the game. Whether it be hardware or space limitation, I feel like there still could have been more variety put into these level designs because they truly had the talent to create it. As you go through collecting in the game, you'll find that these items all equate to 1 foot. And these are not just for, so you can keep track how much progress you're making. This is for presents, quote unquote. These presents allow you to have customization for your rabbits, and it changes various things, like you will get these things that allow you to twist the head, that allows you to have stamps and tattoos that you can put onto your rabbit and really customize it and make it your own. These are pretty bare bones customization options, but it's something to keep you interested at least a little bit more as you go through this long game. Personally, when it comes to customization for me, it's not the greatest incentive. I really just kind of pick a color and then go on. I really don't go into fine details with customizing and, putting stamps and little tattoos and stuff all over my rabbit. I just kind of go on and continue playing the game. I just kind of want to get through it. I'm just not the biggest fan of customization. This game controls really, really well. I would say it even holds up today. It's just one of those games where it's not too complicated, the controls are nice and responsive, and you can just pick it up, play it, put it down, come back, and you don't need to do much to remember the controls because they're pretty straightforward and not too hard to figure out again. Honestly, the game feels good and all, but it really didn't age well. I've played it on the Wii U, so my gameplay is stretched to 16:9 aspect ratio for some reason, and this led to a lot of problems with screen tearing and more pixelated models. So if this can be avoided, don't use your Wii U to play Rabbids Go Home. Some games work really well with being upscaled on the Wii U, and a lot of games don't. But who am I kidding? Who actually has a Wii U? The graphics themselves have aged as well as a Big Mac. While it's hot and fresh, you don't care what you're putting into your body. But when it's cold and old and it's disgusting. This is the game right now. It's almost completely cold and disgusting, but not quite there yet. Honestly, this is the only way I can think about describing how the game looks. I think, it doesn't look terrible, but it definitely doesn't look great when we're comparing it to today or just other games like Super Mario Sunshine that even came before it. Honestly, I did enjoy taking a look back at this game for nostalgic purposes all around. I really did enjoy my Nintendo Wii. It was my first true console that I ever owned, and I just really, really enjoyed this game, and for some reason it's not as good as I remember, and it's kind of humbling to see that I can admit that and still have the fond memories that I had as a child. However, if you're looking to pick this game up today, it's fairly cheap from what I can find. So I wouldn't exactly advise against it if you have an older Wii or even a Wii U. It won't look as pretty if you use the Wii U, but it will suffice. And if you have a small child or you just need something to kill some time for a good couple of hours, I highly advise you to pick up the game if you're that so much inclined. I want to thank you guys for watching the first video here on That Game Review Show for 2019. We've got a lot of great ideas and a lot of great reviews coming out for you this year. The other two guys are hard at work on their videos, and I'm really having a good time looking at my nostalgic game library because I've just been in that mood lately. So thank you guys for watching, like I said, and I can't wait to keep sharing videos with you this year. Take care.